All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome, welcome. We're so glad you're joining us this evening, or if you're watching the recording, thank you for watching that later. We really appreciate you taking the time to join us whenever that is and listening to our stories. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sandra Knable. I live in Theodore, Alabama with my husband of over 36 years. Our two dogs, we are empty nesters, and our kids are off happily married, living life, and they're happy and healthy, and that makes me very happy as well. So tonight, these two beautiful ladies on here, Tabitha Hollins and Lizette Moffett, they are going to share their stories about how their children's health was so greatly impacted by adding the nutrition of Juice Plus. And for those of you who may not be familiar with what Juice Plus is, I will tell you it's not a juice and it's not a vitamin, but it is actually concentrated plant powders that are in a capsule or a chew. Each blend, I'm just going to show you the bottles. That's our veggie blend, the fruit blend, and the berry blend. There went my Omega bottle on the floor. So each of those has 10 different either fruits, vegetables, or berries that have been vine ripened, and they're just thrown into this big mixer, as many of the seeds as possible, the skins where they can, and they're just blended up, ground up really fine, and then they extract the water out of it and dry it at a temperature where it doesn't damage the nutrients. And then it's put into a capsule or a chew form. And I don't have a chew out, but these are the pouches of the chews. And then we also have the little sample packs, like if you want to pack those in your kids' lunchbox or whatever, they're awesome. Or throw them in your purse. They're awesome. So along with that, we have our omegas. My bottle's way over there on the floor, so I'm just going to hold up the capsule. But our omegas are plant-based, and it's omega 3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. So full spectrum. And we bypass the fish. So I love that because I can never handle fish oil pills because they're big and they give you these nasty fish burps. So I was thrilled when Juice Plus came out with a plant-based omega, because that's right up my alley, and my body's a lot healthier now because of those omegas, because I wasn't doing any omegas. And we have plant-based protein shakes. In case you haven't figured out, everything Juice Plus does is plant-based. And these shakes are non-GMO, they're vegan. Sorry, my mind just went blank. They're low glycemic, so if you are a diabetic, these are awesome because they don't spike your blood sugar. So many other great things, and these are good as a meal replacement or just, a snack. And then we also have our newest soy-free blend, because not everybody can do soy, and these are also very delicious. And these plants in here are different than plants that are in our other capsules and chews. We also have protein bars in the dark chocolate and tart cherry. And I know I really like the soy-free too, Andre. We also have our aeroponic tower garden, and this is just a great way to grow plants year round. You can see Tabitha's behind her, and you can grow indoors or out year round, depending on where you live. And that's the outdoor version. On the back is the indoor version with the lights, and you can see hers. And it's just a great way to grow fresh greens. Some people grow strawberries. I got tomatoes growing on my indoor one, which is very exciting. And you don't have to worry about tilling soil. You don't have to worry about getting on your knees, breaking your back, pulling the weeds. Tabitha can vouch for how hard it is to have a huge garden, because she kind of does it all. But yeah, the tower garden is wonderful, and I've really enjoyed having mine. So tonight, the topic of our Zoom is healthy kids or happy kids, and we're kind of just touching on a program called Healthy Starts. And this program is a wonderful program. So with it, any child between the ages of 4 and their 26th birthday can get Juice Plus free with an adult order. And all you do is pay for the shipping, and that's very, very minimal. And I just loved it. Used to be just a 4-year program, but the Juice Plus company is super, super generous, and they recently expanded the time frame. I'm going to touch a little bit more on that later, but for now, I'm going to turn it over to the lovely ladies. And Tabitha, I'm going to start with you. So if you could unmute and introduce yourself and just tell us about how Juice Plus impacted your family and especially your son.
Thanks. Thank you all for coming and for watching the replay. My name is Tabitha Hollins. I am a mama first. I am a nurse practitioner, and I have been in medicine for, gosh, it's over 20 years now. I have a son who is 25. I had to think about that. And our health journey with Juice Plus started in 2015. And I have to take you back before that so that you get the real picture. I tried to do everything I could as a mama, which I think we all do as moms, dads, uncles, grandmas, grandpas. I think we all try to do what's best for our children, in the fact of feeding them, clothing them, having a roof over their head, you know, saying the right things. We all try to do what's best. I did try to do what was best, what I knew to do. Matter of fact, my son could count on his hand how many times I took him through a drive-through for dinner. He could count on his hand. I mean, when he's a teenager, that's how important it was to me to do what I knew to do. However, we did the same things. I didn't know that, you know, variety made such a difference. And so we would have green beans or broccoli or just lettuce. We wouldn't have, you know, kale and spinach and all the other stuff. I just didn't know it. We did with the fastest, the best we could, the best we knew. But he was diagnosed with asthma at the age of 4. And while I was trying to do everything I could, I was taking him to the best specialists, and I asked, what can I do? What can I feed him? What can I take away? What do we need to do? We peeled up carpet, put down hardwoods, got special air units for the house, special vacuum, you name it. But never food was mentioned, never. I asked over and over. Never was that mentioned. In 2015, then he was in high school, and his teammate on football team would get injured, and he would heal like super fast. And so I asked his mama, I'm like, what are you feeding him? I mean, how's that happening? As a nurse practitioner, I knew if you're injured, you have inflammation. I knew my son had inflammation. And I know that we all have inflammation silently, but she said, well, it's just food in capsules. And I said, what do you mean? So she showed me the science, which is what brought me into it. And from me buying a grocery bag of medicine for my son every month, which with insurance, the copay was over $200 some a month for his medicine. The money, though, while that seems like a lot, the money was nothing, because I was trying to give my son the best quality of life possible. And that's what his doctors were telling me was his best chance at that. So I didn't care. That money was what was going to help him, right? But that money was going to medicine that was helping his symptoms, not the cause. So in 2015, when we started on Juice Plus, I started him on the 3. So he got the green and red free with the healthy starts, because I had an order. And then the purple I paid for separate, because I knew he needed as much as possible. Started him on those, the Trio blend, and he took those. And within that first 4 months, I noticed there was more medicine in the cabinet left. And I asked him, why is there? He's like, oh, I just don't need it. I don't feel like I need it. Literally, I don't know, 9 months, close to a year, 18 months exactly, I know for a fact, there was no daily medicine needed. None. And when I would take him back to his doctors, they're like, his flow rate. So you test your breathing for asthma with this meter. His flow rate is so good. He's doing so good. Is he taking his medicine? I'm like, he's not taking any. What are you doing? And so I tell them about this food in the capsule and show them the research. And they're like, oh, well, must be working. Keep doing it. And that's what we've done. We kept doing it. And to this day, so 8 years later, he still is without an asthma medication on a daily basis.
That is so awesome. And it's just, I mean, really, it's amazing just when you give somebody the food that their bodies need, how it can heal itself. You know, I mean, that's the way God intended it. And, you know, I know it should have been something that they could have told you, but you found it, and that's such a blessing for sure. And I just love hearing that. Thank you for sharing. If you'll mute back, and then we'll take it over to Lizette. She can share about the impact Juice Plus made on her family.
Thank you, ladies. Tabitha, that is awesome. I love hearing that story. Success, winning. I mean, I love it. I love it. So my name is Lizette Moffitt. I live in Mobile, Alabama. I am a wife, a mother of 3, 26, 21, and 18. And I am a grandmother of 2, 3-year-old and a 7-month-old. Our Juice Plus story started about 3.5 years ago. I was very skeptical, and it took me about 3 years to get started with Juice Plus, but Sandra never gave up on me. She told me about it all the time. And so we finally decided to start with the product, and it took 2 weeks for us to be slapped in the face and convinced that Juice Plus was real and it worked. When my youngest was 10 years old, we had to rush him to the hospital because we thought his appendix had bursted. He was laying on the ground, fetus position, hollering in pain. So we rushed him to the hospital, and after so many tests, they determined that he was severely constipated. The doctor asked my son, how often do you go to the doctor in a day? And my son said, what? So he said, how often do you go to the restroom? And my son said, oh, well, maybe once a week. And my jaw dropped. My heart shattered because he was so convinced that it was the normal thing to do. Like, it was okay. Our boys played football, they played soccer, they are rough. You know, they went outside and got dirty, and they never complained about pain. They got cuts, scrapes, they never complained. So to know that my youngest was suffering so intensively, and to him it was normal, it was, as a mother, it was heartbreaking. So we followed the doctor's instructions. We gave him Miralax and magnesium 3 to 4 times a week for 4.5 years. He's now 4.5 years later. He is still severely constipated. He is still going to the restroom maybe once, maybe twice a week. He would go in the restroom, stay in there for 30, 40 minutes at a time, come out with, pale, purple lips, bloody eyes. Like, it was he was in pain, and there was nothing that was working for him. We tried remedies. We tried, everything that people talked about. So we started with Juice Plus, and I want to say maybe 2 weeks into us taking Juice Plus every day, he came to us while my husband and I were talking in the kitchen. He came and he said, Mom, he put his hand on my shoulder and he said, Mom, that was the most satisfying dump I have ever taken. Now, taking mine, he's almost 15 at this time. So when my husband and I heard that, we felt a huge sense of relief because like it worked. And the only thing that we were doing different was Juice Plus. So before you knew it, there was no more Miralax, there was no more magnesium. It was, and we only started with the red and the green, the fruit and the vegetables. But once we found that out, of course, we immediately ordered the rest of the product. I did order the product for myself, and through the Healthy Starts for Family, I sponsored him. So he was getting his for free, and I mean, I cannot express how much we don't know. And we try to do, as Tabitha said, we try to do everything possible to make our children's life easier and healthier. And while we think we are doing everything that we think we know, there's so much more that we don't. And I mean, that was just, to us, that was just amazing. Moving forward, about, I want to say maybe 3-4 months into us consistently still taking Juice Plus, my husband went from 7 blood pressure medicines down to just 1, which again, there was no changes. He's still going to the gym. Our diet was still pretty much the same. Not very healthy, but pretty much still the same. So when we started noticing that, his blood pressure started bottoming out a lot, and the doctor started taking out medicines. You know, he was like, well, stop taking this, stop taking that, stop taking this. Before we knew it, he was down to just 1, which again, that was just amazing. As we started learning more about Juice Plus, and we started implementing more healthy changes into our lifestyle. Our daughter, she was pregnant and was having a really, really hard time with her prenatals. She went through maybe 4 or 5 different prenatals that the doctor recommended, and she would continuously get sick. Needless to say, she was not enjoying her pregnancy at all. So finally she said, you know what, forget it. I believe in the product. I know what it is. I know what it does. I've heard the testimonies of other women, of other mothers to be. So what am I doing? She went ahead and dropped all the prenatals and started taking Juice Plus only. And at this point, we're taking all 4. We're taking the green, the red, the purple, and the orange, and of course the shakes. And so she did that at 4 months. Never had any issues. Pregnancy was healthy. Delivery was healthy. Baby was healthy. It was amazing. Doctors never even noticed a difference. She didn't really want to, because she was in Medicaid, she really didn't want to go into the specifics with the doctor because she was afraid that it was going to impact her benefits. So she never told the doctor anything. The doctor thought that throughout her entire pregnancy, she was still on the last prenatal that he had prescribed. And till this day, I guess he doesn't know that she never took it. She breastfed for the first 1.5 years of the baby's life. So for the first 1.5 years, the baby was introduced to the product, never had an issue, never had any type of sickness, illnesses. Baby was completely healthy. Now she's 3 and she takes the capsules like candy. She will not start her day without taking her Juice Plus capsules. She'll take all 8 and she'll chew them and carry on with her day. Like, it is amazing. As a grandmother, I love it because I know that while she thinks she's eating candy, I know she's gaining benefits. Her second pregnancy was the same thing. She never even started with the prenatals. She just stuck to Juice Plus. Till this day, the baby is now 7 months old, and now the baby has been introduced to the powders. She'll put the powder in her food, and she'll eat it that way. So I am excited that I know that our generational curse of DNA badness will not be there. And those chains have been broken, and I am excited to know that they're starting off on the right path. I have another son, my middle son. He had really bad allergies, and he hasn't taken an allergy medicine in almost 3.5 years. So I am excited about that as well. As far as I go, I know the shakes have given me an immense amount of energy. I don't have any health issues, thankfully. So to me, it's more of a preventative source. I don't want to be sick. I don't want to be in blood pressure medicine. I don't want to have diabetes. You know, I don't want to have any of the stuff that my family has, my extended family. So I'm not gonna stop. As a family, we are a Juice Plus family, and we're gonna stick to it as long as we can. So that's our story.
Awesome. Every time I hear your story, especially when I see, you know, I've seen you shared videos of me, Leilani, you know, eating those capsules like that, and I mean, it's just it's so awesome. I mean, if every single child did that, just oh my gosh, it's just really mind blowing. I mean, I know I couldn't do that, but
Recording of her doing it, but she grabs them and puts them in her mouth so quick that by the time I get the phone ready, she's already taken them. So
it's amazing. And I love that your whole family has seen such
yes,
so many benefits from it. And
yes.
yay. So,
And
you know,
girls-
persistence pays off, Lizette. See, you know, I mean, that's why we love on people and keep sharing with them, because one day they're gonna say, okay, let's do it.
And I still have to say, I order my product and I sponsor one of my kids, and I order my husband his product, and we sponsor our other child. And even though they are 18 and 21 now, they're still getting their product for free. So it's a win-win.
That's awesome. So while I've got you on the camera, sorry, would you just talk about why the business made sense to you, why you decided to partner?
Absolutely. It did not. The business did not make any sense to me. But I started the business when I started the product because getting that discount made sense. You know, getting money back from what I was spending on me and my family made sense. And that's all that I was interested in. The more I talked about the product, the more I told people our stories and how it was benefiting us, I saw that the product was selling itself. I'm not a salesperson. I am a giver. I am a lover. I love humanity. I love to help, and I will not ever try to take a cent from you. And so thinking about the business to me was an absolutely no because I was not going to sell it. And but I started noticing that the more I told people about it, the product was selling itself. We are a product of the product. And I love the reaction and the, you know, just the way people were reacting to my story. And so from there on, little by little, I was already a member. I was already an associate. So whenever I told people about it and they wanted to try it, they just signed on. And before you knew it, I had a business. And of course, aside from that, just being a part of the Juice Plus company and having the support system that I have, and having this newfound family that thinks the same way I do and that loves the same way that I do, and I love it. I have definitely grown as a person. My self-esteem has definitely grown. When I first started, there is no way that I would speak in camera and not turn into a tomato, and a sweaty one at that. So it has definitely, I have grown big time, and I appreciate that. So the company and now the business makes sense.
Awesome. Well, I can vouch for your growth, and yeah, so it's really amazing. And it is, what is it they say? It's a business clever disguised as a personal development program or something like that, you know. So I'm glad that you said yes to it too, for whatever the reason was. So I'm glad you did. And Tabitha, maybe I shouldn't say why the business made sense, but why did you decide to partner?
Well, because I took an oath to help people, right? To do no harm. And seeing what it did for my son and for me, I had bowel issues too. And even as a healthcare provider, I mean, we're taught that everybody's different, and, you know, once a week is normal for some people. I mean, that's what is taught. So healthcare providers a lot of times just don't know, and not knowing what we don't know, I felt that I have to be that change. I have to tell people and they look at me like I'm an alien or three heads, or I'm trying to sell them an island somewhere in Texas. I don't know, but I don't care. I don't. It is, I have never, ever said to somebody, this is going to help every cell in your body, and not meant it. It will help every cell in your body. Yet when I write a prescription, I must say, these are the side effects, X, Y, and Z. Don't take this and go in the sun. Don't take this with this. Do not take this and drive. And once you're finished with this, take these 2 pills to make up for what this one has depleted. Right? I mean, prescriptions are needed sometimes. They really are. However, you don't know what your body is going through. And each of us, even though we may think we're healthy, each of us have something going on inside of us. Every cell is getting used up all the time. And so that's why I feel like telling people that you don't get all this variety of food and you need it. It helps you in all kinds of different ways. There's nothing it will harm you. So I feel like that is my duty.
Yep, I love that. And everything you said just makes so much sense. Our cells need it, and those cells are getting damaged every day by just what we're exposed to, and if we're not giving our bodies what it needs, it's going to be breaking down, and there's going to be illness and disease. And of course, we never say we cure anything, but there's nothing that can't be helped with proper nutrition.
That's right.
So thank you so much for sharing that. And I just love that because of this community, I have met you, who I probably would have never met way up there in North Carolina. I mean, I did know Lizette briefly, and it just brings awesome people together. Like Lizette said, those of us who are givers and want to help the world be a better place. And that is a huge benefit to partnering with this company. So thank you so much for sharing. So I'm just going to touch a little bit more on the Healthy Starts program briefly. So as I mentioned before, when an adult places an order, the child gets it free, but they also are going to receive some surveys to talk, that ask about, your child's health. So over time, they know what the results are from your child taking Juice Plus. And 89% of the people who responded to the survey said that their child noticed like they were more aware of their health and their overall wellness, and they were eating like less fast food, sodas, drinking more water, which is huge. They were wanting more fruits and vegetables. And there's something called metabolic reprogramming, and whether it's a child or an adult, if you eat something a lot all the time, that's what your body craves. So if you're feeding it junk food, that's what it wants. You're feeding it sweets, that's what it wants. Well, guess what? If you feed it fruits and vegetables, that's what it's going to crave. And for parents whose child, wouldn't eat a single vegetable, and all of a sudden they're asking for one, I mean, your mama heart just swells. You're just like, this is so awesome. And what's really important too is the child is missing less school. So if you're a parent of a child who's sick and you're using your vacation time or what precious little sick time you have to stay home with that child, bye, LaWanda. That's just amazing when you know that you can use your vacation time to have fun and not to stay home with a sick child. So I love that. And then they're taking less meds. So who definitely wouldn't want that for their child, right? And another thing I love about this program is it's not just for the child, like it benefits the child and the adult, and I just think, because a lot of people will do things for their child and they won't do it for themselves, but with this, the adult gets it and the child gets it too, and I just love that. I know I don't know what time we started. I'm just going to briefly just tell my story, just and there's a reason why. but I basically started Juice Plus because someone told me it would give me more energy, and I needed that. My job was physically demanding, and I worked in the heat, yada yada yada. But it did give me more energy. It gave me better skin, but it also helped with the family history of like, it lowered my blood pressure, and it has helped with my cholesterol. Again, we don't make claims, but again, good nutrition is going to help with that. But when I first started and she said, "Oh, do you have a child you want to sponsor?" And I was so sad because my kids were too old at the time, which is another reason why I share with people, because I wish I'd found out about it like 30 years ago. We could all benefit longer. But what I want to mention about that, it doesn't have to be your own child. It can be a grandchild, it can be a niece, it can be a nephew, it could be your neighbor's child. Like I actually sponsored a friend's child for 4 years. And now my husband sponsors a child who my husband works at the Ronald McDonald House, and this child spent a lot of time at the Children's Women's Hospital with childhood cancer. And so now he's able to help sponsor that child, and they get the gummies, and the child's just starting school. And you know, the mama heart just loves that her child's getting this, even though she can't provide for him. But anyhow, so it's just a great program all the way around. So so many kids benefit, like 2 million kids. So that's 4 million adults and children combined. So let's see. Now I want to tell you about this great offer with the Healthy Starts program that's good through the end of the month, where if any adult orders and gets their child on the Healthy Starts program, the company is going to send out 15 free shakes, either in the Dutch chocolate or the French vanilla. So that just makes that even more beneficial, because these are so awesome. Like I said, for meals or snacks, you can do so much with it. I love that. Again, this company is so generous. Company with a heart. So I'm going to wrap it up real quick and just say that if you've heard something tonight and you're just ready to get started on the Healthy Starts program, you want to sponsor a child, or even you just want to get started for yourself, just reach out to whoever invited you. They can get you started, and they will take really good care of you as a customer, because that's what we do. You won't find that anywhere else, I don't think. We love our customers and taking good care of them. But maybe when you heard some of these stories, you're like, "Oh my gosh, my whole family needs to know about this." So, partner with us, and it can offset the cost of your own product by helping other people. And that's, a win for, your close friends. But maybe you heard it and you're like, my whole world needs to know about this, and then, as you learn, you'll share more. As you experience it, you'll want to share more. So partner with us. The sky's the limit, really. I mean, we don't ever make income claims, but what you put into it is what you get out of it. And at the top level of our company, we have this amazing benefits package. There's college tuition reimbursement, there's insurance, there's chiropractic, there's holiday bonuses. I mean, it rivals any corporation out there, really. So that might be the route that you want to take. But whatever you want, we will help you along the way, and whatever your goals might be. And one last thing I want to share, speaking of partnering with us. So through the end of this month, if you decide to partner, with any order that you placed, you get about $90 worth of free products. That's 30 different products. There's shakes, there's the bars, the gummy packs. So generous. All you have to do is sign up. $22. It's $30 off. We turned 30 this year, so it's $30 off the cost of partnership. So $22, place an order and get 30 free products. So many wins this month. I hope there's some of you who will take advantage of that. And does anybody have any questions, anything that anybody wants to add before we sign off? No? Everybody's good? Okay. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording if I can find that button, which always gets me. There we go.